The languages of Jesus. What did he actually speak? Hey everyone. Today we're diving into one of history's most fascinating linguistic mysteries. What languages did Jesus of Nazareth actually speak? While many might assume he spoke just one language, the reality is much more complex and interesting. First, let's set the scene. Jesus lived in 1st century Palestine, a crossroads of cultures under Roman rule. At this time, multiple languages were used for different purposes, much like how many people today might use one language at home and another at work. The primary language Jesus spoke was almost certainly Aramaic. This was the common language of Judea in the 1st century. We have direct evidence of this in the New Testament, where some of Jesus's original Aramaic words are preserved. Remember when Jesus said Talitha koum to raise a young girl? That's Aramaic, meaning little girl, arise. Or his famous last words on the cross, Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani, pure Aramaic. But here's where it gets interesting. Jesus almost certainly knew Hebrew as well. As a Jewish teacher who read from the Torah in synagogues, he would have needed to know Hebrew, which was the language of Jewish scripture and religious discourse. Think of it like how many Muslims today know classical Arabic for religious purposes, even if they speak other languages in daily life. And there's more. Given that Jesus grew up in Galilee, a region with significant Greek influence, and interacted with Roman officials and Greek-speaking individuals, it's highly likely he knew at least some Greek. Greek was the lingua franca of the Eastern Roman Empire, much like English is in many parts of the world today. Some scholars even suggest Jesus might have had some understanding of Latin, given the Roman presence in Judea, though this is more speculative. What we can say with confidence is that Jesus was at least bilingual, and more likely trilingual, speaking Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek to varying degrees. This multilingual ability would have been crucial for his ministry. It allowed him to communicate with people from different social classes and cultural backgrounds, from rural Aramaic-speaking farmers to Greek-speaking urban dwellers and Hebrew-literate religious scholars. So what does this tell us about Jesus as a historical figure? It paints a picture of someone who was far from a simple rural preacher. Instead, we see a sophisticated communicator who could navigate multiple linguistic and cultural contexts. Someone who could engage with people across the social spectrum of his time. It's a reminder that the ancient world, like our own, was complex and multilingual. People didn't just stick to one language, they adapted and used different languages for different purposes. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. Understanding the languages Jesus spoke helps us better understand his world and his message. It reminds us that the stories we know were first told in languages very different from the ones we read them in today. If you found this interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more historical deep dives. Let me know in the comments what other aspects of ancient languages you'd like to learn about. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.